Hello and welcome back to our non-league to legend save, where we start in non-league English football and attempt to go on and win the European Champions League. Since you were last with me, we've had a bit of a bump in form with Bath City here. So if we have a quick look at our schedule, since you were last with me, I think the last game we saw would have been, we saw the hashtag United game that we lost and the game against Maidstone. So we have had these games here, starting with Dorking. Dorking, we drew 1-1, not fantastic. We then go and smash Hampton and Richmond 5-1, 2-0 win against St Albans. But then this is the last four games where it's got a little bit patchy, not at the quality we were functioning. So we've only actually got 2 points from the last possible 12. 2 losses in there and 2 draws. The latest one coming 3-0 against Dulchwill Hamlet, who aren't very high up in the league. Today we are facing Concord. Concord are first in the league now. They are now top of the league. We sit, as it turns out, now in third. We are 4 points behind Concord with the same amount of games played. So this would be a perfect opportunity to bring down that deficit and keep ourselves in the title hunt. Obviously, we're only 14 games in, so it's very, very early days. But obviously, we don't want this form to worsen. I have changed some other stuff as well, so this formation is very much the same. I've also literally just started training a 4-3-3 with a DM, so if we are going into games and we keep seeing this poor form, we can change to that potentially, and maybe it'll make us a bit more defensive. We seem fine going forward, so that might be the change that's needed. In terms of transfers, I think there has been maybe one. There's been 2. So we've brought in a backup left back. In fact, he can play on both wings. Andronocus Giorgio. He's an English 22-year-old winger. Last season, he was playing his trade for Wickham. He's been around a bit. Stevenage, St Albans there, Wickham in the Championship. He's not really got a lot of game time anywhere, but he does have some decent potential again, and he's a nice backup. He's mainly a backup to the left wing. Obviously, Freya playing out there mainly for us, and is definitely going to remain our first choice starter. But it's nice to have some backup because we didn't have any backup at all. We've also brought in another centre back, again, just as sort of a third choice, maybe fourth choice. Third choice, I would say. Olio Dua is again 24 years old, English. He's been with Crystal Palace pretty much for the last 5 or 6 seasons. Never got any game time, but he's come in as a fringe player for us. He definitely fits the bill as a fringe player. He's not going to play consistently, but he will be able to come in occasionally and yeah, just fill in when we need him to. If we're looking at over here as well, on the outside, Tom Richards has gone over to Hampton and Richmond, who bizarrely beat us directly before we sold him. Obviously, he hadn't played any games this season for us. He was unlikely, really, to play any games for us as well. He's got some fairly regular football by the looks of it over at Hampton and Richmond. He's gone over on a free just to get his wages off. Jack Batten as well. He's gone over, which is why we'd signed that other centre-back. He's gone to Brackley up in the Vanarama North, so not in our league, but at our level. Again, it was someone who wanted a lot of game time, and we just weren't willing to give it to him. So those are the outs. But for now, we're going to go over and face Concord. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the series and you do enjoy today's episode, drop a like down the video, drop a comment, interact somehow. Likes are possibly the best thing you can do for the channel. It helps pump out the video to other people so we can get more eyes on the content. For now though, this is going to be our team that we use to face Concord. It's pretty much the same team I have been using, and we can see by the average rating for the last 5 games not being fantastic, but we're going to go with it for this last game here, and then we'll see if we need to make changes. So it's Scott in goal, back 4 of Taylor, Okocha, Alan or maybe Steve and Moore. Centre midfield partnership of James and Smith. Freer out on the left. Rains is coming on the right. Fletcher has been playing up there, but Fletcher today is in the deep lying forward role alongside Cook. We've dropped McGiss out of the team just because he was firing, but the last few games he's been poor. We'll go with poor. He's been poor. He hasn't been taking his chances and his rating's gone down through the floor. So we're going to put someone else up front, and we'll see if they can do any better. Hopefully we can quickly end this poor run of form though. The team aren't particularly happy with the dressing room atmosphere. I don't think we've done anything particularly wrong, so I'm assuming that's mostly down to losses, and just our form of late is bringing the morale down in the squad. Other than that, we haven't massively annoyed anyone or sold anyone that no one wanted sold, etc, etc. It was free kick here from Concord. Scott diving on that one. Props to him, putting his body on the line. Okocha has got a yellow card though, so just in the middle of this highlight, we're going to tell him to ease off of tackles. Scott taking his time here. Long ball forward. Really hasn't got the hang of this short distribution to centre-backs or full-backs. He is definitely a lump it up the field and hope for the best. And to be honest, I'm not too mad at that. I prefer he played it out and we kept hold possession, but equally it does come off. Unfortunately, on this occasion, all it's actually done is allow Concord to come straight back at him and score a goal. Roast there, just picking up the ball off of that long ball from Scott, and it's through to Reynolds, and our defenders don't get near him, and he just pops that one in the top corner, and not the start we needed against Concord particularly. But hey, it's the start we've got. It's the start we've got to deal with. It is a Elliot Freer corner here into Fletcher, who does get his head to it, and it kind of bobbled around in the area then. I'm not really sure who was hitting the ball, who wasn't. But at the end of the day, it's gone to Concord, and they are on the counter again. It's whether we can recruit fast enough. Oh, and the highlight comes to nothing, so I guess we did recruit fast enough, and Concord didn't make anything of that. It's another corner, pretty much identical to the last one, into Freer. Alan or maybe Steve getting his head to it. But yeah, not putting that one in the back of the net, unfortunately. Another highlight. Getting a lot of highlights all of a sudden. Again, that's a long ball forward. Non-league goalkeepers prone to putting long balls forward and defence just getting hold of it. Reynolds has put a second past us. What is going on here? What is going on with our form? We were like top of the league for 6-7 weeks in a row, and then we've just fallen apart, and I don't really know why. We are going to have a look at the team. We're going to have a look at the tactics a second, because I want someone marking their goal scorer here, because like again, he scored 2. Let's not let him get a hat trick, please. I think Okocha might already be marking him. He is now marking him. He's not doing a very good job of it, because he's just letting a second goal there. But I think this is going to be a redesign and rebuild here, because 15 games in, like I said, we were fantastic, but we're not beating the lower teams in the league, and now we're not even coming close to winning the top ones. I don't know why we've just suddenly started lumping balls forward. But that's half our problem. It's into Reynolds again, and realistically, to be honest, he should have put that on target. That should have been his hat trick. We're going to move our passing directness down just to shorter a second, just see if we can keep hold of the ball and stop these big long balls forward, which are just causing us to lose possession constantly. It's another highlight, and it's for Concord again. 1-2 there off the throw in. Scott, good hands that time. And can we launch a counter-attack here? See, this is where you should be distributing to your centre-back. Potentially the one that was stood right next to you. But again, we're just going to go with a big long ball forward. Fletcher is going to get onto it this time, but his pass through to Cook is cut out by Kensdale. And again, it's just going to be counter-attacking football here from Concord. They're basically just waiting for us to lump it long, and then they're picking it up and actually like pretty nicely, to give them their due, playing it downfield before that sort of ball into Reynolds, and that's 3 for Reynolds and 3 for Concord today. And I mean, I don't really know what we're supposed to do here. I'm going to get to half time. I might change into that 4-3-3 that we're not as familiar with, and I don't think we're going to get back in this game, but it'd be nice to see if we can get anything from it in the second half. Maybe we are going to tell the team that we're just disappointed, guys. I don't know what you're playing at, but it's not been great. Let me just switch all this around a second, and then we'll get over to the second half. Right, so this is what that's going to look like. The substitution we made, we've brought off Joe Rains, who was out on the right, and brought on Wooten to play in the middle, move Fletcher out onto the right, basically. Let's just see if we can make something of the second half, really. There is a lot less highlights all of a sudden, though. So I guess that's a good thing. Alan or maybe Steve is very tired. So we're going to bring on Ollie O'Dwyer for his YouTube debut. And this definitely seems to have helped us shut up shop a bit. Scott is deciding to distribute to his centre-backs rather than lumping it forward. I don't know what to say about that. At least 2 of those goals that they scored were because you lumped it forward, and now we're 3-0 down. You've decided you don't want to. And now we're playing very much slower tempo football with shorter passes. And maybe that's what we need to do going forward. Maybe the problem is, that was a cross. It's a goal. We are winning the second half 1-0. Maybe that's what we need to be doing, just keeping hold of the ball a bit better. So maybe this is the formation that we need going forward, which will be a shame because I don't really have a fully qualified defensive midfielder because I wasn't planning to play with one, so I haven't made that transfer. We have got McGiff here. We'll bring McGiff on for Cook. Not that Cook's done anything wrong, but McGiff, maybe he can pop up and get a goal and that'll build his confidence a little bit. Cook to Smith here drawing this highlight. He tries to put a threader pass through really into the box, but Concord have just cut it out and now they're playing very much, I wouldn't say tiki-taka football, but short passes, slow build up, the same as we are, and we're kind of matching each other here. Taylor now trying to get to the byline. If he can get in and make a cross, he does make a cross into Cook, and Cook nods it home to make it 3-2. Now Cook scored. I don't really want to bring him off though. Yeah, this build-up play in this second half does seem to have made a difference to us. Who's tired? Tom Smith's pretty tired, but I haven't got anyone to bring on for him because I've already used my midfield substitution. Elliot Freer, maybe, and we bring on Mo Toure there. Can he play as an inside forward? Yes, he can, so that's fine. We'll go with that then. Elliot Freer is always a shame to bring him off, but if he's tired and his legs aren't working properly, it's probably a good idea, really. We have only got a couple of minutes left in this game. We're going to see another highlight. It's a big ball forward from Roberts. We've managed to cut that out with a header. Wooten now just holding on to the ball. Back to Okocha. Wooten again. Back to Okocha. We're just, very slow pass in here. Very nice build up. If we can just build up like we had before and not give away sloppy passes like that one, because that's half our problem, is especially if you are going to play very short passes. If you play a long ball, at the end of the day, it's up the other end of the pitch. If you start short passing in the middle midfield, you're going to make sloppy passes like that. Then it's not great. He tried to chip Scott there. Nothing's come of it, and it is over. But Scott was impressive. It was an impressive effort. It's a throw-in for us here. Scott through to Toure. Toure getting tackled there, but Wooten's managed to recycle possession. Taylor still holding it up. Cross into the box. Cook has put it home. Please tell me that isn't offside. We don't appear to be going to the... No, we've gone to the referee. Oh, how annoying. I thought we were going to come back and get something out of this game then. I feel like that will probably now be it because we're getting to the end of injury time. Definitely better in that second half though. Definitely better. We're still going to tell the team we're embarrassed by them, but it was a better performance in the second half. We have to admit that. We are now... still in third. We could get jumped here, so we could end up fourth. Obviously, we're still in the playoff positions, which is what the board are expecting. It's just very disappointing when, obviously, we were top of the league. But we're going to get over to our next game. Our next game is a game against Canvey Island in the FA Trophy. It's second round, so it is a cup game. It's not the biggest game in the world, but actually, it might give us a chance to try out our 4-3-3, so we'll be right back with that. Okay, so we're back for the match against the Canvey Island. We haven't changed the squad too much. Essentially, we've changed to that 4-3-3 formation. We've brought Wooten in, which means Cook's up front on his own. In fact, we'll have a look at it very quickly. So we've got Scott in goal, Taylor, Kocher, Alan, and maybe Stephen Moore at the back. James is playing in the DM role. Wooten and Smith are then in midfield. We've got Fletcher and Freer out on the wings and Cook up front. And I very much, obviously... I'd expect us to beat this sort of opposition because I have no idea what league they're in, but they're lower than us. But it's just, I just want to kind of see how the formation works. I think that'll be interesting to see on the channel. Highlight here, Taylor into Alan or maybe Steve, and Alan or maybe Steve putting in his 6th goal of the season after less than 3 minutes. It's a good start. Formation's working fantastic. Is it change approved? I'm a genius. Maybe not, but the throw-in routine worked. It's a little header down for someone to make a cross in. We take that. We're more than happy with that. If we can do that in the league fairly consistently and just control possession, then it'll all be very good. It's a much lower tempo and shorter passing style than our 4-2-4 formation, and maybe we will go back to the 4-2-4 formation because we score a lot of goals doing it, and I feel like we score less goals doing it this way. But for now, the formation at least will help us sort of break the duck of our losing streak and hopefully help bring up morale a little bit, especially if we get a decent sort of size win here today against Canvey Island. At the moment, this is what I mean, very slow build up. It's a ball out to Fletcher on the wing though. Fletcher making his way forward now, just waiting for the right pass in behind Cook. Cook's managed to pick it up to Freer, out to Taylor, who's charged forward on the wing, cross into Fletcher. Fletcher putting it in for the 2nd goal of the game. It does also mean in this formation, just before we see the highlight here, that Taylor's now more attacking and Freer's cutting inside, sort of becoming a second striker, and he's very, very good. So it's useful having him in there, and then Taylor's coming up alongside him here and just sort of stretching their defence a little bit, because they can either follow Freer, in which case Taylor can come up, or they can mark Taylor, in which case it leaves him a free cross into either Cook or Freer. This is pretty much what's happened here. Freer's cut inside, a couple of them have followed him, a couple have then come over to mark Taylor, which has allowed us to make that cross in to the back post there for Fletcher just to come in and nod home. So it's worked quite nicely so far. We're very, very happy with that. Canvey Town not really putting any pressure on us at the moment, which again we'd expect because they are a lower league team. But it is a cup match, and I do like watching a good cup match. Big ball forward to Fletcher there, completely ignoring the short passing style, but he's managed to pick it up. It's another cross in to Cook. Cook just wide of the target there, not getting that one in. Taylor so far though, worth noting, putting on that wing back and attack role, he's got both the assists so far. That's probably a positive change. Maybe if we do go back to the 4-2-4 formation, maybe we do just need slightly more attacking wing backs. It's a free kick for us here into Alan or maybe Steve to nod down for Okocha to get his 1st goal for the club. It's a bit of a messy one. That free kick in there, just swinging into Steve for Okocha to kind of jump up and just beat the keeper to it. Again, slightly messy, maybe, but it's in the back of the net, and right now that's exactly what we need for morale of the team, is just to come here and blow Canvey Island away, really. Coming up to the 70th minute though, so probably time for some changes. We'll bring on O'Dyer again for Alan, maybe Steve, whose stamina seems horrific, and we'll bring on Mick Giff as well. Hopefully he can grab a goal. He can grab a goal in this match, and maybe that will bring him back into some sort of goal scoring form as well, because he was firing on all cylinders at the start of the season and then just seemed to give up. Ball here though for us. Smith over to McGiff, who I was just mentioning. Smith again, more, and it's just very slow build up. Don't lose the ball at the moment. I'm not sure how this will work in the league, but it's ball through to Fletcher now, and Fletcher just cannoning that one home. 5th goal of the season, 2nd one of the match. Scored again. Fletcher coming off that wing, very, very dangerous today. Again, it's nice. It's nicer build up play. I much prefer this, although it's slower tempo. Maybe we can, once we get familiar with this and start winning games, we might be able to bring the tempo up a little bit and make this just happen a little bit faster than it currently is. I'm going to make our final substitution as well. Let's bring on Joe Rains at the right back position there. Give him some game time. Yeah, so potentially we could bring up the tempo of this a little bit. Obviously, low tempo helps us control possession. It's not the most entertaining football in the world. I don't know. If you're a Bath City fan, what would you prefer? Less entertaining football and winning the league and getting promoted, or really, really entertaining football but finishing like 5th and then losing in the playoffs? I'd imagine most people would probably go for the promotion with the hope that you'll improve and offer more entertaining football down the line, because, you know, you get promoted, you can attract more entertaining players of a better quality. Canvey Island here coming on the attack though. Canvey Island almost scoring, and if they put that on target, does Scott stop it? Maybe, but he looked like he'd already committed himself to that dive and he wasn't going to get anywhere near a shot. But it's a 4-0 win by the looks of it for us. Everyone there playing pretty well apart from Reigns, but he's only just come on, so he hasn't actually got a rating yet for this match. Wasn't on the pitch long enough, but we'll take that. It puts us through to the third round of the cup as well. Is that probably, I'd think that's exactly what we needed, really. We win the FA Trophy second round. We get through. Fletcher nicely on form. Very pleased for him being on the score sheet again. And going forward, let's have a look at our next run of matches. We've got Havant, who are 4th in the league. They're the ones just behind us, so that's quite an important game. Hungerford as well in 11th. Unknown opposition, which will be the third round of the FA Trophy. We've got Chippingham coming up twice. That's very weird. We'll probably come back, I'd imagine, around sort of January time now and have a look at how we're doing. We'll be about the midway point through the season, so be a good time to come and have a glance at the team, see how we're doing, see if we're still rubbish or if we've actually managed to make some progress with this 4-3-3 formation I'm going to be playing. We're going to wrap that up here today, though. If you have enjoyed the episode, as always, guys, if you can drop a like on the video and subscribe if you haven't already. All these things really, really do help out the channel. Lets me know what you're enjoying as well. As always, though, guys, thank you very, very much for watching. We'll see you very, very soon. And in the meantime, if you miss us, why don't you have a look at this video next?